Welcome into sportsbookreview.com. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And this is the College Football Show, the ACC preview. One of the national championship favorites resides in this conference, and it is a complete and utter sham. But we will discuss all that, of course. We're going to talk about a ton of fun teams, interesting teams, teams that could be really good, teams that might be really bad. Who knows? We're going to get into all of it. Before we do, there's a link in the description. Go click it. SBRpicks.com/NCAAF. It is your one-stop shop for all of your college football gambling content for the entire season. You can also find our show over there, all of our other shows as well. We have done conference previews for basically everybody by this point. I think we got a few more or a couple more after this. But yes, go find the rest of them. Check out what we think about the entire college football landscape. The College Football Show will continue on all throughout the season and even in the next offseason. So make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Make sure you like the video. Of course, it's that little thumbs up button down there. And let's fire this thing off. All right. The Boston College Eagles. Jeff Hafley, rocking and rolling. Oh, by the way, if anybody wants to argue with us, comments are open. Jump on in there. You can also find us on Twitter. I'm at Gary WCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
Let's roll on. Jeff Hafley is doing his thing, right? Last season went 6-5. Very impressive. Very impressive for a first season, especially in a COVID year like that. I don't think his defense was exactly what he wanted it to be last year. It didn't have quite the pieces to fit what he would have liked to have run when he was at like Ohio State, but he found a way to do with what he had. I think we might get closer to it this year, maybe just a touch. There's a lot of experience on the defensive line and in the secondary. I don't think there's enough talent yet to do what he wants just yet, but it's getting closer, and he is picking up on the recruiting trail. Now, that doesn't mean crap for this year, but the win total for this season is 7. To win this division, probably not going to happen, but they're at plus 2,800. They're 5th best odds in the division out of 7. Not great. SP Plus got them going 7-5. FPI's got them going 7-5. Their win total, 7. To go over is minus 140. To go under is plus 110. Schedule, it starts out well, kind of difficult. The offense with their OC, Frank Signetti, and quarterback Phil Jerkovich, they're going to be great. I think they've got an explosive receiving core. They've got all 5 of their offensive line coming back. I think Hafley took over a pretty talented roster that Adazio left behind.
Completely agree.
Yes. So I do think that they are pretty good, but when I look at the schedule, I look at the road games, I look at what they got to face this year, I think this is like the drop back kind of season, just a touch. And then I think they kind of take off again in 2022. I'm going to go under the 7 at plus 110 here. I know that sounds crazy, but I think last year, yes, they got a great quarterback. I think the defense is going to have some more struggles this year. I'm going to go under it just for this year because I think they're going to shoot to the moon in 2022.
7's a lot. I think you're probably right.
So
I think you're probably right. I'll go under as well.
You like Hafley?
Yes,
I do too.
Yes, a lot.
I think he's going to turn that thing around there.
A lot.
So,
I would love for Boston to have a great college football team, or at least a good, exciting college football team. I need more excuses to go there in the fall.
I tend to agree. Moving on, the Clemson Tigers. And, they are favored in every game thus far. SP Plus has got them going 11-1. FPI's got them going 12-1. FPI includes the conference championship game. The reason why they have these that loss on there for them is because once you add up all the projected percentage points that they could lose a game, eventually, out of 12 games, you'll get to 1, right? Like if it's 0.08% that you lose a game, you start adding that up. Eventually, you're going to lose a game.
Yeah.
The win total is 11.5. To go over is plus 110. To go under is minus 140. So they think it's more likely that they drop a game somewhere. And under Dabo, they've tended to do that every now and then, right? Whether it's to Syracuse or Pitt at home or whatever, right? And this year, they open up with Georgia. And Georgia's a coin flip game. Like, it's a neutral site. It's in Charlotte, which will be much more Clemson heavy, but still, Georgia fans travel. And it's neutral site, so you're going to get 50-50 tickets. Georgia's going to be good. Like, is there a chance they could absolutely lose that game?
Sure.
Yes. They could also win it. And if they do win it, like, can we find, like, a road trip to Pitt? Can we get a NC State? Can Boston College show up? Probably not. But I think there's still a chance. Like DJ Uiagalelei, he played well last year, filling in for Trevor Lawrence. Justin Ross is back. Like, they got plenty of playmakers, I think. The defense should be absolutely absurd, especially on the defensive line. Like, Venables has always fielded great defenses there. And this schedule is, what a joke. Like, what a joke.
Yeah, outside of Georgia, there's a world where they don't play another ranked team the entire year.
It's really insane.
And if they get a ranked game, we looked at this and we talked about this before we went live, it's all because of bullshit. It's all because the rankers will artificially rank Boston College, who we just talked about, if they're 3-1 or 4-0, which is what they should be, 3-1 at least, going into this game, giving them a ranking just so they can say, well, they did play 2 ranked teams.
Yes. Like, and that's the best
when
thing you'll probably.
I like Boston College. You like Boston College. We both agree they don't deserve to be ranked, even if they go 4-0.
No.
To start the season looking at that schedule.
I mean, to close out the schedule, like after their bye week, like they got at NC State and Boston College in the first 5 weeks of the season.
2 tough games.
But then they've got at Syracuse, at Pitt, Florida State, at Louisville, UConn, Wake Forest, at South Carolina. Like, this is like the AAC schedule. Everybody's AAC schedule is tougher than this.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. So, just ridiculous. So I'm going to go under the 11.5. Could they absolutely go 12-0? Yes. 100%, but I think the odds are in my favor here that they lose a game somewhere.
They slip up somewhere.
I mean, if DJ gets hurt at quarterback, they got nobody behind him at quarterback. Like their backup quarterback got hurt in spring. They got nobody. So, like that's one big thing. Like, not that I'm wishing for an injury or anything, but like
it's not you're wishing for it, but
what are the
preparing
odds
for it? It's part of it.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor went out for 2 games last year. Like, you never know with these things. It's a fickle game. All right, so are we both going under?
Yes.
Under 11.5. Moving on from there, the Florida State Seminoles, and man, do I want good things to happen for Mike Norvell. Obviously, 2 Memphis guys here. He did outstanding things with the Memphis program, but to come in for your first P5 head coaching job and have COVID hit right then, and you can't get your chemistry down with your players because you're having miscommunication issues, like all kinds of problems, that locker room had become a problem maybe when Jimbo was still there, and it certainly did not get any better under Willie Taggart, and then Norvell had to kind of try to find a way to rally the troops, and I don't know how well it worked. So, with that said, there was a bunch of dudes that left, and they got a bunch of new incoming guys. I mean, they got some depth guys, P5 transfers coming in this year. Mackenzie Milton, of course, quarterback coming in. Now, it could be either him or Jordan Travis, depending on, I think Milton's going to be healthy enough. I think we're going to see some good things out of him. Is he going to be the same Mackenzie Milton? Who knows? Probably not. I mean, he hadn't played in 3 years. So, and they almost had to amputate his leg. I mean, my God, the fact he's playing, it's like the Alex Smith thing all over again. So, while it's fun to see him, who knows what to expect out of this? The defensive coordinator, he's going to have to find some help. And they did bring in a bunch of transfers to do that, but this unit's a work in progress. The offense, again, still a work in progress. I trust Norvell to be able to get points, but this program, they got momentum, but this schedule is tough to build some of that momentum on the field. The win total's 5.5. To go over is -140. To go under is +110. While I want good things for them, SP Plus has got them going 5-7. FPI's got them going 6-6. I look at this schedule, and I think it is hard as hell to get to a bowl game. I've got them going under 5.5 at +110. I don't see them getting to 6 wins with this. So I think it's going to be really tough.
I do. I'm going to go over. I think the floor is 5 wins. And can they win a coin flip game against an NC State or a Louisville? Sure. BC? Sure.
I mean, they do get to avoid no, never mind.
No, they play North Carolina and Clemson.
They got North Carolina, Clemson, and Miami.
And Notre Dame and
Boston College.
But hang on now. Would it surprise me if Mike Norvell upsets Miami?
Maybe not.
I mean, he's completely capable of upsetting somebody.
Yeah, I mean, you might be right. It's tough. It's
I
so
just
hard.
I just need him to have one upset and beat the teams you're supposed to beat.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
And there's a world where I don't even need him to do that. Some of these teams just aren't as good as projected, and just beat all the teams that you're favored over.
Okay. I can get with it. So I'm going under. You're going over.
I'll go over.
That will move us to the Louisville Cardinals, and let's go ahead and see what Scott Satterfield has got cooking up here. Went 4-7 last year. That's definitely not good. 8-5 the year before that. So his first season was good. Next season, not great. FPI's got him going 6-6. SP Plus got him going 7-5. The win total sits right in the middle. Let's split the difference. 6.5 to go over is -115. To go under, juiced the same, -115. Louisville's issues last year were all like close. Like all the games were close. Turnover luck was awful. This could be a bounce back year, but after all the stuff that happened, like, does the team still trust Satterfield? Like, who knows? Malik Cunningham is back, but they lost all of their stud wide receivers and the running back, Hawkins. The entire offensive line is back, but they got all new skill talent that is incredibly inexperienced. Defense was the most efficient that the Cardinals have had since 2017, but they still rank like number 75 in the country in efficiency. The new defensive coordinator, Brian Brown, who is Satterfield's App State defensive coordinator, like, he doesn't have a whole lot to work with here, and he's a culture guy. Like, you got to build it with him. So I think it's going to take a minute to get there, and the schedule, like, ain't easy. 6.5, like, do they have playmakers where they could absolutely explode in a couple of these games? Yes. I also think that they are going to make a lot of mistakes still. And it's that trust thing with the locker room. I'm going to go under the 6.5 at -115 here.
I'm going under the 6.5. I trust Satterfield. I like Satterfield. I think he's a great coach. Here's my problem. This guy has spent the last at least 10 months trying to find another job.
That's what I'm saying.
And I don't know that is a good thing. Now, after seeing what has gone on in Louisville, I don't blame him.
No, of course.
Like, they're going under their like 7th investigation in 4 years or something of that nature between all their sports. I see the reason why he wants to get out, but you're there.
Yeah.
You did something special year one. He's going to have to do something real special in year two. And I'm taking my chances with him not being just magic.
I tend to agree. All right, the NC State Wolfpack, Dave Doran had a bounce-back year last year. Went 8-4 after going 4-8 the year before. They got the 4th best odds in the conference to win the championship, plus 2,500, which is insane because Clemson's is ridiculous. Their win total sits at 6.5. They're projected to go 7-5 by both FPI and SP Plus. The schedule helped them out a ton last year, and they were able to win 8 games even with their quarterback Devin Leary being injured for most of the year. Right? They had Bailey. I've already forgotten his name. He transferred over to Bailey Hockman. There we go. Transferred over to Middle Tennessee State. Tim Beck improved that offense. Like, he absolutely did when he came in as offensive coordinator. And they needed some new life. They needed new blood, and they got it. The question really for them right now, without Hockman there, does their quarterback, Devin Leary, stay healthy? Because he hadn't been able to yet. So if he does, he's got all the tools in the world to be successful, and that offense could really use it. The defense improved last year. There appears to be talent, but there's still issues. There's no true weakness, but there's no real strength either. It's just they're just there, 19 returning starters should tell me good things, but they got a lot of losable games, man. They won some close games last year.
Yep.
There's a ton of coin flips on here, and I think that last year might have been a bit of an anomaly where they dodged Clemson and Notre Dame. This year they got Clemson. They got North Carolina again. They got some tough road games. A bunch of their coin flip games are on the road. I'm going to go under the 6.5. I don't trust them to stay healthy. I don't trust them to win as many of these coin flips as they did last year.
6.5 is a tough number.
Part of this is because I think they lose to Mississippi State in week 2.
Well, yeah, no, I got that as a loss. I'm going to go over. I think they can. I just need them to win one coin flip game.
Okay.
Maybe 2. To get to 6. To get to 7.
Okay.
It's tough. I like this team. I think they're going to be a surprise team.
A surprise team. Yeah. Okay. I'll take it. I'm going to go under.
I don't know what that means. They're just, they might finish 8th in most other conferences, but they could finish 2nd in this conference.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
You're
probably right. They're not beating out Clemson in this division. We know that much.
No.
So, Syracuse, Dino Babers. Could this be the final year of the Dino Babers experience?
This is a guy I love so much when he got this job.
Same here. Win total sits at 3.5. To go over is plus 100. So even money. To go under, minus 130. FPI projects them to go 4-8. SP Plus projects them to go 3-9. And honestly, I think even that is going to be pretty difficult. They're non-conference slate. Check this out. Ohio, Rutgers, Albany, Liberty. I think they lose 3 of those.
I was just about to say, there's a world where they go 1-3 on that.
Like, I don't think that they can beat Rutgers. I don't think they win at Ohio. I don't think that they beat Liberty at home. And then their conference slate is, there's nobody that they are better than.
Nope. There'll be a dog in all of them.
I mean, it's just absurd.
What happened? All right, so we're both going under and we don't think this team is good. Let's not talk about that because there's nothing to say. What happened? This is a team that beat Clemson and then almost beat them the second time, right?
So,
had them on the ropes.
Yeah.
2 years of Dino Babers looked amazing. And they were up and coming.
They went 5-7 in 2019. Last year was where it really just completely
fell off.
Right, 1-10. And the reason it fell off, they had a ton of opt-outs. They didn't get to practice forever because they're based in New York.
But
right,
even even the 5-7 year was a massive fall off to what they were the 2 years before.
Yeah,
that's my problem. What happened?
Tommy DeVito is not who they thought he was. They did not replace their talent correctly.
So do you think they're a quarterback away from maybe being back to special?
It's not just a quarterback. It is they almost whiffed on their entire offensive line.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Their entire offense, these quarterbacks, you don't even know if their quarterbacks are actually good, right?
Okay.
Because they don't even have time to throw the ball.
All right. That makes sense.
There's no running game to speak of.
Because it's the offense that just disappeared.
Yeah, and you don't know if the wide receivers you don't know if and the defense, of course, not great.
No, but they haven't ever been great.
But they've always been aggressive, and they've been okay. So long as the offense is able to score points and whatnot, they can actually keep the ball a little bit. They're aggressive. They are constantly blitzing. Their entire front six is returning this year for this, and they've always had that confusing 3-3-5 defense, right?
Yes.
But even being aggressive, they only finished number 83 in sack rate last year. There's just problems across the board, and it has to do with recruiting whiffs. They just missed guys. So
it's all a talent thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's 100% it. They just don't have the dudes.
So is there a world where you're Syracuse, you're not a superpower by any stretch? Do you just tell Dino, hey, you got to change the staff over? We trust you as a coach, but you got to bring some guys in here that can recruit.
I think he's already done it. He's already flipped guys. So I don't know what they can do anymore.
Okay.
So it's it sucks. He'll be an offense coordinator somewhere and he's gonna make some noise. But I think this could be it. This will be the final straw. The Wake Forest Deacons to close out this division. Dave Clawson, rocking and rolling, and last year losing record 4-5 after the bowl game. But, 8-5 the year before that, 4-5 was pretty good last year considering all the stuff that they went through. FBI expects them to go 7-5. SP Plus expects them to go 6-6. The win total is at 6.5. To go over is minus 140. To go under is plus 110. And this is one of those situations where I'm going to trust the coach. You wouldn't think it just looking at the talent on the roster, but he always he squeezes every ounce of potential out of his players. He's got quarterback Sam Hartman back. Clawson's offense is going to keep rolling. They've got explosive playmakers. He just finds these guys under dirt piles, man. I don't know where he pulls them from.
2 stars across the board, and they they always play well on offense.
Yes. Defensive end Carlos Basham, the only starter gone, for them. He was a big piece, but it was not like a great defense by any stretch of the imagination, but he was a key piece of that. The team is well coached. They're not talented enough to be dominant, which means they're going to have a ton of close games, but I expect them to win more of these coin flips than they lose. I'm going to go over that 6.5 at -140.
Yeah.
I really feel good about this one because I see this as a super well-coached team, man. And their non-conference games are not hard.
No.
Not hard. Army might be kind of difficult on the road, but, I still think they could win it.
I was just about to say, they're going to have to win a couple of coin flip games for me to get to 7.
But I think I can get them there. I think Clawson's good enough to do that.
Yeah.
You going over?
No. No, I'm going to go under. I like this team a lot. I do think 6 is the number. I think too many things have to go right for them to get to 7.
Well, I mean, if you're going to have Ohio State, if you're going to have Florida State as over, then one of these you have to take.
At some point in time, we got to be. That's it, and that's it. I just got them. I got them losing to too many other teams. I think
that makes sense. All right, here's a team that we will not spend a ton of time on: the Duke Blue Devils. David Cutcliffe. At this point, I mean, we are getting close to the end here. 2-9 last year. 5-7 the year before that. He has still won more than any other coach at Duke, and that's a big-time thing. Win total this year is 3.5. To go over is -130, so that's cool. To go under is even money, +100. And I look at the schedule. SP Plus has got them 3-9. FPI's got them 4-8. I look at the schedule, and then I look at what they've got on the team, talent-wise, and I don't like their chances. Now, they do have a weak non-conference schedule, right? But they do play Northwestern in there. And honestly, they play Kansas in there. And
but those might be their only wins or non-con wins. I mean, there's a world where they get swept in the conference.
I think they could get – I think they could get swept in the ACC. They would have to beat Charlotte, NCAA, Northwestern, and Kansas.
Well, they're not beating Northwestern.
I don't think they're beating Northwestern either.
They're not beating Northwestern. This Northwestern team is going to be tough.
And that's what I'm thinking, right? I think that Northwestern beats them. I think there's a chance the Kansas game could be a coin flip. I think they can beat Charlotte and NCAA, but I mean, I think the back end of the schedule where you would normally catch a team that's just had a bad season and they don't feel like playing anymore. You close with Pitt, at Vatech, Louisville, and Miami. I don't think they're beating any of those teams. So I'm going under. I'm taking the even money. I'm taking the +100.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So
we agree there.
I hate it for Cutcliffe. Their defensive line was a strong part for them, and they got destroyed by attrition, man. So that ain't good. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Jeff Collins has got it rolling a little bit, man. We're finally seeing some talent now. Win total sits at 5 this year. That's a massive improvement just on a perception level, right? To go over is -120. To go under is -110. So the books expect a bowl game more so than another dreadful season. Went 3-7 last year, 3-9 the year before that. FPI and SP Plus both have them at 5-7. Schedule, Northern Illinois to open. This should be a win. Kennesaw State should be a win. And then you get at Clemson and North Carolina. Now, that sucks. And then you got Pitt.
That is a 3-team gauntlet. By the time you play Pitt, you might have a fight beat out of you.
You have got that right. So, that part sucks, but that does mean that the rest of the schedule, the rest of the way, you can fight in some of these games and get to a bowl game. I think it's entirely possible. I think Collins has the pieces in place now. The running game looks good. Offensive line had to bring in some transfers this year, so not ideal, but they're depth guys, right? So that's a step in the right direction. If the quarterback, Sims, can actually improve his passing a little bit, this offense has got some pop, man. They got some playmakers. Defense, they got talent. Finished 58th in efficiency last year, which you would expect from a Jeff Collins defense.
That's
right. They got 10 starters back and even more talent coming in. They're going to stay aggressive. They've got to stop more chunk plays, but I think they've got the talent to be able to do that now. I expect this team to go over the 5. I think we're going to start seeing a good Georgia Tech team in the next couple of years.
I think being competitive in games and winning games right now is different.
Okay.
So I'm going to go under. I don't think they're at that mark yet. I just think they're still green offensively. I don't trust them. And I think everything's got to go right to get to 6.
Yeah, you might be right about that. All right, the Miami Hurricanes. Now, Manny Diaz had a pretty big year last year. 8-3, kind of got it turned around after going 6-7 the year before that. He's got his quarterback. He's got some playmakers. His defense has played really well over the last couple of years. The win total here is 9.5. Now, to go over is plus 125. To go under is minus 155. SP Plus got them going 10-2. FPI's got them going 8-4. So there's a bit of a divide there, a bit of a difference. They are second in this division, plus 130. And the conference odds, number 3, behind Clemson, plus 800. Like, everybody loves Clemson in this division, or in this conference. Defensive line has rebounded from losing guys in the past. Like, they lost 2 NFL defensive linemen this year. They've lost them in the past over the last 3 years. Like, they lose 1 or 2 every year, and they always bounce back. I think they're going to be fine with that. They got in Georgia transfer cornerback Tyreek Stevenson. That should improve the secondary quite a bit. Yeah. Wide receiver Charleston Rambo comes in from Oklahoma. And they already had explosive guys at the skill positions on offense. I expect big things in year 2 of offensive coordinator Rhett Lashley. Like, I look at this schedule. I feel good about this. I'm going to go over the 9.5 at plus 125. I think that they get to 10 wins.
So I do think this team is better. I don't think they get to 10. It's just too big of a number.
Okay. That's it. I do understand where you're coming from, and a part of me is a little scared of this, but I'm also looking at how bad the rest of the conference is. And I think that Miami has solidly, based on like returning production and all that, they got 91% of their guys coming back. They've got talent. Like, the transfers that they brought in, I think they stand head and shoulders above everybody but North Carolina and Clemson. So, but
I don't know that I would say head and shoulders. That's the problem. I think they are better than all those teams. I've also seen them lose to teams they're better than a lot.
Yeah, okay. I mean, we have
until
seen
I
that.
see the U back.
Yeah. Okay. I can believe it. I can believe it. Now, this number is probably going to blow your mind here. Let's talk about North Carolina right quick.
Okay.
North Carolina and Mac Brown, their win total sits at 10. To go over is plus 115. To go under is minus 145. So, of course, they expect the under much more so. But, went 7-6 in Mac Brown's first year, 8-4 in his second year. That was last season. Now they lose all of their playmakers other than Sam Howell at quarterback. They do get back their entire offensive line, so that is good. Ty Chandler, running back from Tennessee, is going to come in and take over the running back duties. Receiving core is unproven, but talented, like super talented. Defense, I think, is going to be massively improved. Like, they got 9 starters back, but they also bring in, a couple of transfers. Secondary, like, it's completely headed by their all ACC caliber corners, Storm Duck and Tony Grimes. Like, both are going to be NFL guys. Like, I really think that this team could contend with Clemson in the ACC Championship game. I've got them going over the 10. I think I know it's a foolish bet, but at plus 115, why not have some fun with it? I think this team is fantastic, and to win the division, they're plus 125. So I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to go under as well. It's just too big of a number. You think this conference just completely cannibalizes itself, huh? Well, no. They could win 10 games and still not go over.
That's true.
They could still win 9 games and not go over.
That's it. You're right. You're right.
If they lose to Notre Dame and they lose to Miami, they lose to Virginia Tech, it's ball game.
You're right.
Florida State, any of these teams are capable of losing. That's if Pitt doesn't jump up and get them or NC State doesn't jump up and get them.
No, you're right. And to go with, like, a team that doesn't have a ton of experience, skill, talent, like, I know there's a reason it's got a plus, like a plus 115 for going over the 10. All right, we got 3 more teams. Let's go ahead and knock this thing out. The Pitt Panthers. Pitt Panthers, Pat Narduzzi always finds a way to be competitive no matter what. And this year, he's got Kenny Pickett back at quarterback for what seems like the 10th straight season. I mean, we're moving into a whole nother decade with Kenny Pickett at quarterback. They went 6-5 last year, 8-5 the year before that. Their win total this year sits at 7. To go over is -125. To go under is -105. SP Plus got them going 7-5. FBI's got them going 6-6. Looking at the schedule, I mean, swing game at Tennessee. We'll see what happens there. Mark Whipple has got Kenny Pickett for the 3rd straight season now. And the offense returns a veteran O-line, explosive running back Vincent Davis, high upside receivers. But Pickett, for the first time maybe in his career, has got to be better than just, Yeah,
that's right.
He's got to be better. Defense lost a ton of starters to the NFL draft, and that kind of talent is tough to replace at Pitt. Like, they developed that talent. The question will be, have they developed enough behind those guys that just left to be able to keep this unit going super strong? And I don't think that they have. I think when you lose like 4 defensive starters to the league, and that's what your team is built on, is defense, I think it's going to be tough to get back there. I've got Pitt going under the 7. -105 for under. Over is -1.
We're going to agree here.
You think the same thing?
We're going to agree here. I can't get to,
Can't get to 8.
Yeah, I can't get to 8. I just can't.
So, I mean, I might be able to get them to 7.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I could get them to 7 for a push, but if that's my ceiling, I can't make that bet.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to agree. The Virginia Cavaliers. Now, you know that I enjoy Bronco.
I know.
And you tend to enjoy Bronco a little bit.
Yeah, I like Bronco Mendenhall, okay.
But I will say this. Last year was weird. I mean, they went 5-5. They went 9-5.
For a lot of people.
Yeah, went 9-5 the year before that. Their win total this year is 6. To go over it is -140. To go under it is +110. SP Plus, has got them going 5-7. FPI has got them going 7-5. So the 6, of course, right in the middle. I look at the schedule. Like last year, they started 1-4 and they finished 4-1. That got them to 5-5. They return all their biggest playmakers from the late season turnaround. They got all 5 of their offensive linemen back. Quarterback Brennan Armstrong showed massive improvement last year. The defense set for a rebound with a lot of seniors coming back. But I think at this point, under Bronco Mendenhall, it's kind of fair to question the upside of the 2 deep on defense, especially. I don't know how much talent is actually there. And when I look at this schedule, I have a hard time getting them to 7 wins.
Yep. Can't do it.
So with that, I'm going to take the under.
Yeah. Cannot do it.
So, I mean, BYU, Notre Dame, Illinois might even be tough in the non-conference with Brett Bielema.
I was just about to say that's going to be week 2 for Brett.
Yeah,
those guys are going to be fired up, ready to play.
If I think that Duke is, or not Duke, I'm sorry. If Wake Forest, I think it's going to be over.
I was just about to say, if you like Georgia Tech, if you like Wake Forest, if you like Louisville,
this is one of those games for them.
You just can't give it to them.
You're 100% right. So under 6 at +110. And you're going
under 6? Oh, yeah. And I like getting the plus odds as well. I think that's wrong.
Same here.
I think the odds are backwards there.
All right. Now, this one you might find a little strange, my decision-making here.
Okay.
The Virginia Tech Hokies are going to close us out for the ACC. Justin Fuente, how all the hoopla around him when he came in, it was the perfect fit. It was all of this. And last season, I hate to use last season against him because it was so crazy. They went 5-6. He did get that win over Virginia back. That was good. He went 8-5 in 2019. SP Plus and FPI both have him going 8-4 this year. The win total in Vegas or the sports book, whatever, sits at 7. To go over is +105. To go under is -135. You look at this schedule. And there's so much negativity around Fuente and this program right now. They lost a bunch of transfers, all that kind of stuff, right? But they do have quarterback Braxton Burmeister coming back. He's got skill guys to go through or to throw with. The question is, who replaces Khalil Herbert at running back? Defense was fine against the pass. They need somebody to step in and stop the run. They got Clemson defensive tackle Jordan Williams to transfer in. I think that could help. Advanced Stats thought that this team should have been 7-4 instead of 5-6 last year. Like they lost some weird, wonky games. And, like does that kind of potential, like, does that mean that they could have a bounce back year? Like, I think so. Like, there's only 2 absolute losses, I feel like, on the schedule. And I think they could win everything else, Like, I think 7 is low for them. I'm going to go over the 7. I'm going to go plus 105 on this. Like, I think this is a kind of season where Fuente, like, you're looking at it and you're thinking, something's weird here, whatever. But I might be slightly biased, but I think this is a talented team, and I think this is one of those where, like, everything might finally actually click.
Yep.
You're kind of thinking the same.
I think the same thing. I'm going over as well. I think this could be Fuente's best year at Vautech.
I think so.
I really
think so.
do.
I mean, it's a tough schedule. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, my God, you got North Carolina at home to open the season. Like your non-conference tough game is at West Virginia. Like you could find a way to win that. Notre Dame, but Notre Dame comes into town, and this is a year where Notre Dame isn't great. You got Pitt at home. You got Syracuse at home. Your road games are Georgia Tech, at Virginia, at Miami, and at Boston College. You got Duke at the house. Like,
yeah, we can get to 8 wins.
I can get to 8. Like, I can get there, and I might even. I mean, I could probably get them more.
No,
like,
I could.
Really
I have them more.
I
actually think this could be a special team.
I think you're probably right.
So we finished off agreeing.
Yeah, I think so. So we both went under on Pitt, under on Virginia, and over on Virginia Tech. Not bad.
Who you got in the championship?
Championship game.
Clemson and who?
I've got Clemson and I've got North Carolina.
That's the answer.
I think so.
North Carolina got any chance at winning that game?
I think so.
Do you have them winning that game?
I do not. I do think that there is a possibility that they could do it. If I'm going to put my money on it, no. I think, Clemson is minus 1,000 to win the conference. Like, that's an absurd number.
So that means you should get really good odds at betting North Carolina then.
No. Plus 125 to, no. Plus 125 to win the division.
No,
Sorry.
It's got to be a lot better than that.
Clemson, hold on.
Can't be plus 1,000 and then plus
Sorry, I wrote down the to win the conference, plus 750.
Yeah, see there, I'd throw a little cheese on that. I'd bet on worse.
Yeah, probably.
Bet on dumber.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Probably right. So plus 750 on North Carolina to win the conference. I don't think they're quite there yet. Like, I think they're better than everybody else on that division.
Hang on now. They have a transcendent
quarterback
right now. If you can't win with him, you're not getting there.
I think they got another guy behind him.
No, they don't. North
North
Carolina's never been a quarterback. So the best quarterback in the history of the school, the guy behind him is better.
I'm not saying he's better, not by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think that like the same way that Clemson started lining up quarterbacks, Alabama started lining up quarterbacks. Like, yeah, like I think they got it. I think Drake May's the guy behind him. Like, they're gonna do well. I'm telling you. But either way, Sam Howell for sure, fantastic. Don't get me wrong. But either way, I mean, on a preview show like this, like I can't reasonably say Clemson's not going to win this conference because they're not going to have to play any of their starters for basically the whole season. Like, the only game that'll matter for them will be that championship game.
True.
So, all right, let's get out of here. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. We appreciate you watching the show. Again, if you have not, hit that like button for us. If you feel like arguing with us, first off, let us know what team you're arguing about. We've had that issue a couple of times. Second, you can always do it down in the comment section, or you can always tweet us. I am at Gary WCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
Or, again, if you want to email us old school style, I'm Gary at winningcureseverything.com.
And I'm Chris at winningcureseverything.com.
And with that said, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Go to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. There is a link in the description. Very easy to find. So go ahead and click that thing and visit us over there. For sportsbookreview.com, I'm Gary.
I'm Chris.
And we will see you all again next time.